Thank you for that, Mike. Now, Patrick, you've been reporting on the Trump crackdown on freedom of speech around criticism of Israel or protest for Gaza on behalf of Gaza. It looks like things are beginning to ramp up even further.
They are. And the first thing we're going to point to is somewhat encouraging on the free speech front. That is, if you support free speech and the First Amendment, and not everybody does in America, certainly not the Trump administration or Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State. But this is a legal breakthrough here. A federal judge has said that the law used to detain Mahmoud Khalil, this is the Columbia graduate student who is being deported by the U.S. government, it's likely unconstitutional. So this is very interesting. So it does look, there's two court cases with this particular person. And here it is, the so-called foreign policy law. This is what they've invoked in the U.S., saying that Mahmoud Khalil as a student was a danger to U.S. national security or foreign policy because he was criticizing Israel or opposing a genocide. They're saying that the law is unconstitutionally as applied to Mr. Khalil, who acted solely within the United States. So this argument that somehow it's affecting the U.S. internationally or whatever, it's just not standing up to reality. The judge further said that Marco Rubio has failed to affirmatively determine that Khalil's actions had affected U.S. relations. So this is unprecedented. So I think this is encouraging. This is he's very likely to win on constitutional grounds, exactly as we said when the story broke. But there you are. So I hate to be right about that, but nonetheless. So let's bring up this development here. So Marco Rubio is on a tear. You notice he's not doing much internationally, Mike. He's really just chasing students and Chinese students. That's Marco Rubio's main remit. So the State Department is now halting interviews with students and exchange visas. So the war against Harvard University, which is over speech against Israel, the U.S. is saying that Harvard shouldn't be allowed to have international students, which is obscene if you think about it. So he's basically saying, and they get real specific here, we use all available information in our visa and screening and vetting, says State Department here in a statement without specifying what could flag an applicant for rejection under the new, quote, social media policy. They're checking your social media. The statement noted that visa applicants have been asked to provide social media account information since 2019. So if you want to apply as an international student, and this could be extended to tourists, by the way, using probably AI systems provided by Israel, of course. So if you have anything negative about Israel, you can say what you want about the United States. You can say, oh, America's the worst country in the world. Donald Trump's a demon, the great Satan. That's no problem there. But say anything bad about Israel, and you will no pass go. You will be rejected from entry. So it gets even stranger. Look at this. Rubio's order comes under President Trump, is trying to coerce Harvard University and other institutions to restrict what can be said on campuses, particularly with regards to anti-Israel speech. So it's kind of obvious where this policy is coming from, but this is where, Mike, this is where things are really headed. Take a look at this. The U.S. will aggressively revoke visas of Chinese students, says Marco Rubio. What's the basis for this? Like, how are they going to pick and choose which Chinese students are good or bad? Well, here it is. The Trump administration will work to aggressively revoke visas of Chinese students, including those with, quote, ties to the Chinese Communist Party or who are studying in, quote, critical fields. So if a Chinese person is studying in STEMs, engineering, technology, and if maybe they have somebody in their family who might be tied to the Chinese Communist Party, they're not allowed to come and study in the U.S. Now, we were talking about this before the show, Mike, and Chinese students provide 20% of all U.S. foreign students. Internationally, they provide probably a huge chunk of financial aid and help to all universities in America. That's just a reality, and it's really been like that for 30 years. So they want to shut this down. That's the sort of thing you do before you declare war against a country. But you were saying, Mike, that it's not easy to get top university places in China.
Absolutely. It's extremely competitive, and that's why there's such a diaspora of people coming to foreign countries, Britain and the United States in particular, for for education. I'm sure we're going to talk about this much more in Extra.
And I'll add, in Silicon Valley, a lot of the startups are basically founded by young Chinese. San Francisco has the biggest, and California is the biggest Chinese population outside of China in the world. And it has been like that for the whole duration of the existence of that state. So they obviously family connections, people coming over. They've done a massive amount of innovation and brain power into our big tech industry.
Yeah.
And they want to shut it down.
Yeah.
So there you are.
Okay. Well, look, let's